Hello world, how's it going? So I'm here with Dean, the master breeder. We're going to do a little tour of his fish room and he's going to show us all of what's going on in there. So let's do this.
Right in there.
Awesome.
It's got to come from Australia.
After they buy the parts in China.
It's the fish factory.
Right off.
Brine factory. Yeah, this light.
Ooh, there you go.
What'd you make us for lunch, Dean?
I love this shimmer.
You hungry?
Well,
I was gonna fry up some gummy grass, but
I've had half a cookie. I figure once we finish,
I haven't had lunch.
once you do a tour, we'll go to lunch.
Ring.
Well, he got a second shipment because the guy felt bad that our shipment went bad. On the wood are lanceolatus, and I brought those back just because I love that high dorsal thing. They're so cool looking.
Yeah, or do they get any bigger?
I don't think they get a lot bigger. And they obviously love wood. No algae in that tank. The catfish, you're going to see bigger versions of that over here. They are 097s, which is similar to the red laser, but if you look at the top, it's only a little laser about, a quarter-inch long.
It's like a half laser.
If you want to throw some food in here, the knife fish will come out. You can see the little one there.
Oh, wow.
There's a bigger one behind him. But they will really become active if I throw some food in. And then there's three knife fish, different varieties, sitting right in that lead.
Yeah. I was wondering what that was. I was like, is that a paradise fish sitting there? Because they had those split tails, but no.
Yeah. And then there's this. This was just, I don't know how we caught it. This is one little stick twig cat.
I've never seen nice knife fish like that. Look at them go.
The first year I went down, we caught some knife fish, and they didn't survive shipping. This year we caught 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we caught 7, and I've got 5 left. 2 different varieties.
Very cool.
But they're pretty awesome. Let me throw some brine shrimp in there.
All right, yeah.
They're pretty cool. What's this? Brine? Yeah. I think that's brine. I guess we'll find out. No, it's bloodworm. So well, this will probably still work. Brine shrimp just sinks better.
So you like to eat off the bottom then?
They kind of go nuts when there's food in there.
So they just go wherever?
But they won't. I've never seen them swim up into here. But and the way I understand it is they all have a little tiny electric charge, like an electric eel.
Very cool. It's cool how they swim.
Yeah, forward and backwards. They have that sensor on the tail. But again, those were just for me. I have no intention of ever trying to breed them or anything.
Yeah, I don't even know where you'd start
I
trying to
don't
breed
either.
a knife
I
fish.
tried to find information online. I could hardly find anything.
You got that blue in there.
It's hard to get those. You guys ate it all.
You told me to.
I know.
So I took a big ass bag of high chew in the
So
shop.
I'm gonna throw some pellets in for you so you can maybe see him chew.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of cool.
Cool.
It'll take him a while to smell them. He is really cool though. See, you can tell he's already sensed that there's food in there.
Starting to search. The hunt's on.
And his little arms aren't really fins. Those are actually little
Sensors.
arms.
Oh, they're just arms.
I think. Well, he's prehistoric, so
Right. Who knows?
he's really giving you a good show. Okay, so he's not actually eating that right now.
Okay.
He's going to take it, he's going to chew it up, and he's going to spit it out. Chew it up, spit it out, until it's the size and shape that he wants to swallow. See how he's kind of making it into a longer cylinder?
Yeah. So it digests better?
I think he's so he can swallow it.
It is wild. It is so
So he's
cool.
got it soft, and he's coating it with
Yeah.
saliva.
Completely manipulating it.
And it doesn't matter what the food is, that's what he does.
Every time.
Cocktail shrimp, pellets, rapashi, anything like that.
Oh, you can see the air coming out through by his arms where his gills are. So his gills are right there in front of the arms. That is wild.
But remember, he's a lungfish,
Yeah.
so he breathes from the surface,
Yeah.
just like me and you.
So he doesn't have gills.
I think he has them also. I'm not really sure. I've never researched that, to be honest.
Huh.
But there is
Because something's
something. It will
through.
come out there. Yeah, it will come out there.
Maybe they just have small gills, and maybe that's why they have to do both. Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
It almost looks like he's looking at me, but they're blind, right?
I don't know. I think they can see a little bit.
You can see
Man,
he's
you got
healthy.
a great shot of him. He doesn't always do that for everybody.
A good boy. Or girl. Don't
Yeah,
know.
one or the other.
How long is
You
he?
can see the tail.
Yeah. So he's what, about 2 foot?
I think about 20 inches now. When I caught him, he was about 5.5 inches.
Wow.
And maybe that big around.
Wow. So he's not that big.
Yeah.
That's right, I got you guys.
Yeah. So everything in here came from Peru. 2 different trips. The lungfish and the farwellas came from 2 years ago on the Big River. And the tetras came from this year when I went with Corey, when we went in more of the mountainous area. And I wanted something that swam more mid-water for this tank. And my first thought when I first put them in was they were going to take all the food. So I was a little bit worried about that, but now it's
Yeah.
he seems to get his share now.
Yeah.
So
Very cool. It's very natural too.
yeah.
What do you got underneath that substrate?
So under the substrate is under gravel filter.
Okay.
Old fashioned,
Yeah.
Now and it's 2 different plates. So this side is run by the black lift tubes with air. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. The left side is run through a siphon tube that goes into a Fluval 406.
So you clean all the mulm from
Out of there.
underneath the tray with that.
Right. Exactly.
Very.
And then
nice.
it comes back up through the spray bar.
Very nice. That's smart. So you never
Yeah.
have to worry about gravel backing or anything like that. And you see here in the layers of the substrate.
Hardly any.
Yes.
I mean, you'll see a little bit, but not like
the build up normal. Yeah.
Normally you'd see a ton.
That is really cool. I've never seen that. There, he's got legs too.
Yeah, right here.
Look how his buddy is so cool. Wow. Really coming out full glory, ain't he?
Yeah, he is. He rarely does this. Must be you.
Fish whisperer.
I mean, ask Jimmy. Jimmy's never seen him like this.
Really? Jimmy better get in here so you get a shot.
So what we got is this a 3-foot tank? And he's half of it?
Yeah.
Right to there. Yeah, it's about half. Maybe 18 inches. I've been told it's pretty much all muscle.
Yeah, I can see that. That's what it looks like. And you can see his lateral line too.
Right, all the way down.
Holy. Very cool. Alright, let's go check out that big fish room.
Okay.
Nice. So what do you got down here?
So down here, okay, these are the 75s. Shadoni puppers in here, or whatever they're called. 397 plecos in here. Angels from Peru down there. And this is just a mixed lot of different fish from Peru. These two tanks, I'm in the midst of changing up a bit. I want to add like those rock piles, like what we saw in the rivers this last year in Peru. So, and then over here,
What kind of pleco is this down here?
it's wild,
I've never seen one. It is wild.
62 or something like that. And the black top that comes with it, you've seen it in the pictures probably. It vibrates, so that's why it's off.
Okay.
But again, this filter is running just this tank.
Oh.
Okay. And it's again set up with undergravel filter plates. So I've got 2 intakes into that filter. And
Nice.
I wanted, and it's tons of flow. I mean, I almost think it's too much flow for 75. But for the plecos, I think it's good, because when we were catching them this last year, that water was flowing by us at 100,000 gallons a minute,
Fast.
And so my idea with this tank is to redo it and put piles of rocks in the corners, because the plecos seem to like to go in
and out of
the boulders. I
Yeah.
just haven't got the
That
boulders
would be
yet.
really cool.
So I'll have the wood in the middle, boulders all around, and then just tons of flow.
That'll look awesome. That'd probably really trigger them to breed too. You probably breed
That's
them
what I'm hoping
naturally
so.
in there, because the babies could get in the crevices and
Right. That's the whole idea, is I don't want to make it work for me. I want
Right,
to make
right.
it work for them.
right.
Right? So, and I don't know, this guy right here, he's posing for you right
Yeah,
now.
he's out and about.
And then this is actually a really good tail shot.
Yeah, he was
Was he out a minute ago?
no, he fluttered his back tail for a little bit.
Yeah.
He kind of made some motions.
They're pretty
yeah,
cool
some good
though. They
B-roll
really
on 'em.
are.
Cool.
None in there. None in there.
Hello, cat. Sounds like it's saying hello. Cat.
Down here, there's probably something you haven't seen yet. I'm going to even have to find it.
The whiptail?
The whiptail, I'm not sure what type that is, but usually on the wood, we're going to find the giant autos.
Oh.
Remember that
yes,
picture you saw the other day?
Yes.
Okay, so this little branch,
Oh, yeah,
if you
I
get him
see
from
him
the
on the
end,
backside.
right?
Yeah. The picture we're talking about is the one that he's got on Instagram. So, Dean's Fish Room on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
You guys can see it on there.
The other one is
Giant
up on this one right
autosynclus.
coming in the middle, but you might be able to get it from the top.
Oh yeah, they blend in so well. Bet you guys can't see this, but watch, this is gonna be cool. There it is. Look at that, it just blends right in. Really neat.
And I found the other one. You might be able to get a shot of him a little bit better. He's up on this piece in the back.
Oh yeah, he's a
I wonder if
big
I can
one.
line him up. Does that help any?
Yeah.
Or does
He's a
that make
big
it too
one.
weird looking?
No, that helps. And he's got to be about 4 inches, right?
Yeah, they're pretty good size.
That's an autosynclus, huh?
A giant auto. And then right back in there
Oh yeah.
is the head of the woodcat. One of the woodcats. The other two are buried in there really. That's nice.
That is cool. He's just peeking out. Like, hey. Very neat.
So I'm thinking of the Lancelotas, bringing them down here.
Yeah.
The ones from upstairs. And again, I want some more rocks. I just haven't had the time to get the rocks in there. I just redid this tank completely. It was a mess a couple weeks ago. So we'll see.
Really cool. And these are the Agazii,
Yep.
or however you pronounce that.
Yep. I usually don't.
Right. Right. You ought to hear me in some of my videos. I'm like, Corey, go blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
And then I'll just move on.
Yeah.
People are like, yeah, we understand.
He brought me the other 3 here.
Okay.
The small, the babies.
Little puffers.
Yeah, and they're tame. If you get a shot when he spreads his tail, that'll be amazing.
They don't really try to nip other fish or anything?
Actually, Corey found that they didn't. I found that they did.
Okay.
Because initially, I had the 397s in with them, but I noticed there was chunks out of their fins, both the dorsal and the tail. So I said, okay, they're too expensive to.
Right. Maybe it's how the plecos were wiggling their tails or something.
Or you know how plecos kind of hide out and their tails sitting out.
Yeah.
That's just
Like,
a
hey,
munch. It's a snack.
Right.
You know, so I just took them out to be safe. They don't seem to do too much to the cories, and there are 2 wild plecos in here somewhere. Usually right there. See them?
Oh, yeah. Just hanging out.
Yeah, that's where one of them sits. I don't know if I can turn this up. Nope, that's not
It's
gonna
got
work.
like white spots on them.
Yeah.
That's neat.
So I caught. Okay, the flashlight's quitting. Let's try this one.
There
That
we
might
go.
make it better.
Yeah. He's neat. Oh, look at that puffer sees him now.
And now he sees
"Hey,
him.
What's up there?
Says, is that food? Are you showing me food?
Yeah.
And the other one is probably hiding somewhere in the back. But that's what I use to keep the algae, you know.
Yeah.
And like it or not, you know, the wild plecos, they eat algae better than anything I've ever seen.
Oh, I can imagine. There's some beautiful angels.
These
over
guys
here.
over here are mine. These are the red Coy
Beautiful.
Angels.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah. And I'm believe it or not, I'm working on this to try to breed the whitish color out.
Right.
So I have just more of the red and black.
Right. Looks like you're getting really far.
Yeah, this is
Especially on that guy. My goodness.
yeah, this is probably one of my best males. And I think I'm in about 5 generations now from the ones that I actually bought.
Okay. Battling. They battle often.
To be honest, there's too many in here.
Okay.
You can see that. I can see that. They get a water change at least every 2 days. My initial thought was I had to move them out of the fish room. So there's 13 in here. There should maybe only be 6. Some of these will go to a shop, and then I'll keep like the best ones for pairing off. I've got some others in the fish room that are pairing off right now. Because when I went to Peru, I kind of got between generations. So they're now just up to spawning size again.
Okay. Very cool. All right, shall we look at the where all the
real-
magic happens?
The real thing, yeah. With the lights off, and then we'll turn them on.
Okay.
So, I mean, normally this is how it is during the day.
Okay.
Coordinating footage, you know, just trying to take advantage.
Are they cooperating?
Kind of, not really. That one's was a little bit better.
They get these get freaked out by a lot of activity.
Yeah.
They're wild.
And that's why you keep the lights off for the most part.
Well, to be honest, after seeing fish in nature, they don't have lights sitting above them all the time.
Very true.
So do they need light? Yeah, a little bit. Maybe that's my son right there, right?
Yeah.
Nice right here.
But during the day when I'm not here, this is how they are. And then I have the lights come on. They're on a timer, obviously, and then that's when I can enjoy them, so to speak.
Very cool. I mean, that makes sense. I've actually been learning that recently
Less
myself.
algae.
Yeah, less algae. The
Right.
fry, and some fry can tend to be sensitive,
Light
I
sensitive,
think.
right?
Yeah.
Right. He got some really good shots of the lungfish.
Yeah, the lungfish was all out and about.
So I'm gonna, if you push that red button there, the one above the red, that side will come on. And then even, these are all stingrays, fluval stingrays, but I've cut all the cords and I've attached them to a dimmer, which is up in here. So I can turn it up or down, see?
Very
So
cool, yeah.
for your video, we're turning it all the way up, otherwise you're gonna get some flicker,
Okay, yeah.
okay?
I'll move up out here.
And then I'm gonna turn this side on too.
Very cool.
And put this up full. Jimmy, you're not gonna believe, oh, is this on, this, you've got the mic on, right?
Yeah.
Well, you better hold on that then.
Let me get a quick overview of this real quick.
There, now you got full lights everywhere.
Here we go. Some of them have labels?
Yeah, so these are Praycocks from Gary Lang. And of course we can make them swim up just by threatening them with food.
Yeah, right. They love food. I love how you got your spawning mop here with the suction, so you can just get to it real easy.
And it's also so I can hold it where I want it.
Yeah.
Otherwise the current pushes it all over the tank.
Yeah.
And I want it kind of near the current to keep it clean, basically. But also then I can flash a light in there and see when there's eggs in it.
Right, right.
Right.
So you don't have to gas each time.
Right.
That's smart. I like it.
Wild-caught discus from Peru. They call them the Peruvian green red spot discus. So, and down here we have Praycox babies, L333 babies. I'm gonna reach in there while you're down there. I turn this wood over, you're gonna go, wow. So there's a bunch of them there.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah. All underneath it.
Yeah, so they love that wood.
Those are so beautiful.
And I'm kind of more looking for the ones that are white and black, because typically this is called the yellow king tiger pleco.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just dripped down the front of the tank. I was devastated. Especially when I found the babies. Shut up.
I got 5 cats in my house, so
I know.
what that's about. They're so cool. Alright. And the other tank next to these guys? What we got in there?
This is just some electric blue rams, and again, tons more L333s underneath there.
Very nice. And a little feeding tray, is that what that's
No,
for?
that would be more
for the breeding,
spawning
yes.
for the rams. Yeah.
Okay. What's this? I've never seen that.
There's a guy. I think it's the guy. You see him on Facebook. He does. I think it's Pleco Cave something.
Brightly Berry?
That might be him. He sent me that knowing that I spawn rams,
Okay.
and I have set up something like this in the past,
Oh.
where you do a flower pot around the spawning site
Yeah.
so that the rams have an area that they can protect.
More secure.
Right.
Yeah. That's the Black Knight.
Yeah, the Dark Knight ram.
Dark Knight.
See if we can get him to turn for you. Probably get him to turn by himself.
Can we get this top light off?
Yeah, somehow. It's a pole chain.
No.
That'll make a big one.
Yeah. It's so hard to capture him. He's so dark.
That's why I don't think they will be super positive in the industry is because I believe they're going to disappear in people's tanks. They're going to look cool in the store when they're out front, but I think they're going to disappear in people's tanks.
They do got some really cool blue speckles to them though.
Yeah.
Like the orange pin with the contrast.
That was pretty cool. Yeah. What'd be really cool is if you could get that tail more than guys like the Angels.
Got plants growing up in a coconut shell.
That's one of those Brazil nut
Oh,
husks
Brazil.
from we collected those down in Peru.
Really, that's cool. I like the use of it that you.
That was actually going to give that idea to Corey.
Hmm.
He's like, I'm looking at them as breeding caves, right? Yeah.
Mr. Grandma. Can I just something other?
Nisanai.
Nisanai. There we go.
And
Let's see any
they're
more.
probably caved up. They probably won't come out.
Alright.
A lot of these get freaked out when the lights first come on. These are just regular German blue rams. And then supposedly, if I could get these guys to come out, these are wild rams, supposedly. I'm not 100% sure on that though. Maybe.
Neat. Brine Shrimp hatchery.
Yes.
I need to be doing that.
If you notice, this is just shrimp and water. This is shrimp eggs and water.
Right, right.
Because what I do is every morning I will settle one, and once it's settled, I'll separate it, and then I'll put just shrimp and water back in, so that'll be my all day. You can use that. That night, I'll put eggs back in, let it hatch for 36 hours. So it's a daily cycle. So I always have some shrimp that's in the water I can just take out without having to worry about eggs.
Nice. And are they just regular water or
Salt water.
salt water still?
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm one of the guys, I rinse them. I don't want to be adding a lot of salt to
Right.
every tank. So
Yeah, I don't blame you. What do you got going on in these?
this guy is empty. Paramecium, there's rainbows hatching.
Okay.
I usually hatch my rainbows the full month. I don't pick them up. So I don't have time to pick them up.
Oh yeah, see babies.
Babies on the surface, right?
Yep.
Very cool. Yeah, I pulled that mop, I think, yesterday.
Not a lot of room.
There's a few eggs on the glass here, too.
Is there? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are those the Corys then?
These are the Corys from their CW109s. We caught those this summer. So they're from more of the mountainous streams. Did you drip on my glass?
No,
Jimmy.
I hate that.
Jimmy.
that was all you, man.
That was me.
Jeez.
I dripped on the glass. So these are Weitzmanite. Again, we caught. These were the hardest things to catch this summer.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Why
you
is
could
that?
see them, you couldn't catch them.
Ah. Just because they're so quick?
They were quick, and the stream was only maybe 6 inches to a foot deep.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're looking at them, you could sometimes see a school of them going by, and you try to catch them. They're gone. They're gone already. There's a good shot right now next to the filter there of one of my spawning L333s.
Oh yeah.
Where's that link? Oh, they got it. It's that one.
Wow, look how big those tails are.
little one in. He's sitting on.
Here you got the zebra plecos. Have they spun for you yet?
Not yet. I've been a bit worried that I have all males, but I redid this tank over my Christmas break from school. So I took all of them out and put them in a tub, and I took a picture from the top. And I definitely have different body shapes and types. So now I'm pretty sure maybe it's just a time thing. Might not be quite old enough. Fish down there are these are really rare. I couldn't even pronounce it, but this is what they're called. I got these from our local guy, Lawrence Kent. You look for him, you'll find him on Facebook. He collects a few fish all over the world, but he sees a lot of fish. So these are from a really hot climate lake. And I just got them just because I'd never seen them, and I gotta try these. I got two pairs in there.
How warm do you keep your tanks?
Well, this is only 82, but he collected them in 95-degree water, I believe he said. But he said they don't really need it. There's also some of the blue phantom plecos in there somewhere.
Over here on this side of the filter.
And this tank is just leopard frog plecos. And everyone is caved up except for one. Hoping that one is a female. Females generally don't take caves.
Yeah. And these are your breeding angels?
Yeah, and I have you can see the line on the bottom. I have a divider actually. The two here on the right have become a pair.
Okay.
So I'm gonna slip the divider in, and then I'll probably end up with a pair here, and then out of those three, there'll become another pair. I take that one out, and I have two spawning pairs again. I used to have 4 in this tank and that tank, but 2 spawning pairs once they're going is enough for me to supply all of my local market.
There you go. We got some canister filters in here, hang on the backs, all kinds of filtration.
Sponge, matten filters, corner matten filters, a little bit of all of it. Most of the time when I'm doing anything other than a sponge, it's primarily for flow
Okay.
versus the actual filtration.
Okay.
But then at the same time, like those are 110s on the back of the pleco tanks. That's just for the extra water, the flow.
Right.
Because we know they come from water that's flowing really quick.
Very cool. And down here, I love how you got your fry over here.
So this is the whole fry tray system, and it's evolved over the years. But basically, we're gonna do this one. Can we see that one?
Yeah.
So I've got water coming in. This is just air,
Okay.
so there's no biofilm. And we'll show you a tray after a bit. The water flows through the sponge back into the tank, so it's recirculating. And that way I can contain the fry, like you see here, close to their food, right? Usually I'm hatching in something like this, whereas we saw the gallon jar earlier for the rainbows. These are rams, and once they've hatched and absorbed the egg yolk or their egg sac, they will go into one of the trays.
Okay, so you like graduate them?
Yep. Because I start them out with a little bit of methylene blue, and then as soon as they hatch, I start changing that methylene blue out.
Okay.
And then once they're completely free swimming, they will go in a tray with a little bit of Java moss. Sometimes I use these, what are those called? The moss balls? Whatever they call those things.
Yeah, Marimo balls,
That's it.
moss
Sometimes
balls.
I'll use those, but and the ones that trays that have some wood in them, generally they have either the baby plecos in there also, or baby autosyncluses.
Okay. That's right. He's breeding autosynclus, people.
And down here, these are L124 cats.
Nice.
They were here last week and we had eggs, and I'm like, okay, L124s, I have 3 left from Peru. Do I pull it when there's only a dozen eggs? And everybody's saying, yes, you have to. They're wild fish, right? So clearly I did.
Yeah. It's smart putting that wood in there for the babies. But you can see these fry are like eating off the foam.
Sponge, yeah.
Yeah, sponge.
Yeah.
And how often do you say you change the water?
It's changing constantly
Constantly.
into the
Okay.
trays, but it's filtered.
Right.
So basically you have, in my case, I have a 20-gallon tank. It's filtered through here with a canister filter.
Okay.
And then you can see there's a few sponges. This filter is full of coral, just for buffer,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And then I can also auto water change the whole tank. And that happens several times a week.
Okay.
One thing I do notice is this tank, I will get about a gallon of evaporation a day. So I have to auto water change it a little bit more.
At least top it off and stuff.
Or top
yeah.
it off, yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Got some corridors down here. Got a bunch of them in there.
yeah, and this was just going to be an auxiliary fry tank. But it turned into more of a corridors tank.
You notice you've just got enough top on there to keep that splatter
Splash.
down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like all those little tricks. Cool. This is your water system, right?
Yeah. You want me to get in there and show you it?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Okay, so where am I going to be?
Hop
right?
on in there.
Okay, so a lot of people have seen this before, but it's basically, up here is my supply. Hot, cold, hot, cold. That comes directly from the water heater. Okay, so this side, these are gate valves, which I use for mixing, temperature-wise. Comes down, I have a thermometer here, thermometer well. So I can tell the temperature that is flowing through at any given time. And then it just goes through a pre-filter, and it goes through the hose. So if I need to rapid fill, right?
Yeah.
Now, that water will still have chlorine in it. So if I have to dechlorinate, I have to dechlorinate. My water has very little, so I usually don't, unless I'm doing a whole tank water change. So that's the right side. That's all it does. It's for rapid filling. This other side is the water changing system. And it's going hot, cold, and it's coming through a mixer which you can adjust the temperature. And I keep it about 80, 81, somewhere in there, because most of my fish are warmer water fish. So it comes out of the mixer through a pre-filter, carbon block filter. And then it goes through the temperature again. Right here is the temperature gauge. The pressure gauge will tell me when these are clogged.
Ah.
Right? So when all of a sudden I'm not getting, actually, you want me to turn it on really quick? Because I showed.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so we turn both of these on, turn this on, and right now it's just flowing into the bucket. Okay? So it's not going to any tank, it's just going straight into the bucket, and we're letting the temperature get stabilized and the excess water out of here. So it's at zero pressure.
Okay.
Now, if we turn it on to a rack of tanks, where's a good one where you'll see it come on?
Because you got each one of those for sectors?
Yes. So we'll turn it on to those, the 40 breeders,
Okay.
which I just open their valve, And you can see it come in right up here.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So, where's the line?
This is the supply line right here.
Oh, it's hidden up there.
Okay.
I couldn't even see it.
And I've actually found, I used to do that all in PVC, but I found if I just use the 1/8 or the 1/4 inch, whatever that is, the water line, it will get to the tanks more rapidly. I don't have to fill the PVC with water first. I
Yeah.
only have to fill the 1/4 inch line.
You don't get all that stale water
I
in
don't
there.
get the stale water. I mean, very little. And it rapidly gets to the tank with the right temperature. So I've just found that works better.
Yeah, makes sense.
So we come back over here. So if I want to, switch to a different rack, I just open a different valve. And I haven't totally automated it with solenoids, but I haven't found that I needed to yet. I can just turn the valves. But you can see here the pressure valve, that's what we were talking about earlier. It's running at about 58 PSI. When these plug up, that'll drop down to around 20. And I'll know I have to change those. So
Yeah, that's smart.
it's running at 79.5 degrees right now.
Because it's hard to tell them when like the filters will actually go out. Like they have
Exactly.
an approximate date, but if
Yeah.
you're, who knows what the average use that
I've-
they're running off.
I get about 3 months.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Because I always mark on here when I changed it, but if I was to peel those off, it was October. It was 3 months before that, 3 months before that. So I get about 3 months before it won't flow through it enough anymore. So
How do you use these red, like the mud knives for eggs?
no, that's for back when I used to have gravel in all the tanks.
Okay.
For gravel flattening or aquascaping.
Oh, yeah,
I don't do
yeah.
aquascaping.
Okay.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, smooth it out. for
Yeah,
you.
so
Okay.
so this all used to be shrimp tanks,
Okay.
right? And so I was big into crystal red shrimp, red cherry shrimp, and slowly I think I have one shrimp tank now, Bloody Mary shrimp. And they're actually pretty cool. But when it was all shrimp tank, you're always smoothing out the substrate, and the shrimp will smooth it out for you, really. So
Very neat. What all you got? So you got the Bloody Mary down there. Good B-roll of that. And what do you got down
Bloody
here?
Marys, these are the CW 124s. We were only allowed to keep 6.
Oh, they
Okay.
limited you, huh?
Yeah, and I ended up with 3 that made it through shipping, 2 males and a female. And in here, these are L333s. Now, get that shot. That's a baby in there. But we're gonna have to shine a light in the cave if we can. Let's see. Can you get into the cave? Into this cave has eggs in the back.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll be able to see them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you get him there?
I did.
So he's sitting on eggs
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
big.
Yeah, they're
Big
big.
eggs.
And in here, you've got a pair. I gotta get the light just right. He's got the female trapped in the cave.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be eggs in there probably in the next day or so.
Nice. And how long do they usually take them to hatch?
About a week and a half. I might pull these eggs out because this particular male is relatively new to the whole thing and he doesn't always take care of the eggs.
Okay. But sometimes they will take care of them themselves?
Yeah, the big ones up there will.
Okay.
So I don't have to worry about it. They'll just hatch out.
These guys are a little different.
These guys are Asperger cats. I really like them. I've always liked them. And they are, like if you watch these ones in the back, they are trying to induce the females to spawn right now.
Ah.
You can see them going right up to that female,
Yeah.
trying to get in that T position. Even right here in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
the males are really chasing the females right now. That means I probably will have eggs on the glass in the morning.
Very cool. How often does that happen, do you think? Do you see it often, or?
I'd say about every couple weeks, something
Okay.
like that.
It's quite often?
It kind of depends on my water changing and feeding.
Okay.
I've had a lot of people in the fish room over the last week, so less food has gone into the tanks. Just try to hopefully keep them clean for them. So a couple more good feedings and water change, and we'll have fry.
Awesome.
Down there, what is in there? There's a pair of Encystus Claro, but you won't be able to see them. And some other catfish from Peru. If I'm not mistaken, those are C123 cats.
Got one of the plecos in the cave there.
Oh yeah, that's a Claro.
Is he holding something?
No, he's just sitting in the cave. That's the pleco that only gets to be about 2.5 inches.
Okay, stay smaller.
Yeah. And that's just a catch-all tank. The raspberries I spawned totally by accident.
We got some guppies.
Yeah, the world famous guppy now that Jimmy's done a video on them.
Oh, yeah.
Are those in the store now?
Some nice plecos in
I should
there.
grab a pair back because I'm not. I stopped on that because he had so many and he wasn't selling. Bondas. There's a few rams in there. A lot of L333 cats.
I've heard of them, Honda. I thought I knew them all.
Yeah, you know.
Never know them all.
They don't get much bigger than this. That's what intrigued us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And under proper lights, a lot better color.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
These are his more of his precox.
You got all kinds of babies in there.
Yeah,
Is
there's-
those baby Aspergers?
No, those are
No,
the cats
yeah.
are L124s.
Okay.
So those are F1s from Wild. Up here on the glass, that's a black auto baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And obviously L333s you see in there. This one's empty, and this is the black autos. Well, I don't know so much that you'll. That's a hard. I'm gonna move those out of there. But
Do they stay small like that?
the female.
They're
No.
zippy.
Yeah, the female. They get about another ½ inch bigger than that.
Whoa, they're so quick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cute little buggers though, and they're babies.
Yeah.
And the eggs are much like Coy eggs, very adhesive.
That's cool that there's eggs just right there.
Yeah.
Focus.
But I put them in that tank. That was a mistake
Why?
because they're so hard to photograph in there. So
they,
I've cleaned this tank. This is where the female and male are going to go,
okay.
so we can photograph them.
Here you got your breeding pair of rams.
One, a little bit scared right now. They're not used to all this light.
Yeah. Kind of interrupting them, aren't we?
Yeah, a little bit. Pygmea rainbows from Gary up here, along with C123 cats on the bottom. Did the same thing on the mop here.
Yeah.
I like to kind of be in control of that.
Don't blame you. That's smart because they will get everywhere.
Yeah, they really will.
And they'll like twist themselves all up. And
Right.
very cool.
And we all have 100 suction cups laying around it.
Right.
We hate
We
it.
don't use from like a heater or something.
That's one of my things in the hobby is give me a suction cup that'll last 2 years or more.
These guys are gorgeous.
Oh man, he's coming out for you.
That's their thing too.
Yeah, so nice. Discus you can usually turn sideways by the back of your hand like that.
Okay. That red on that top fin.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wow.
Now the vertical bars are usually, that's a stress.
But that's not the case here.
No, this is the case.
Oh.
They're feeling stress right now.
Okay.
But it's pretty, I mean, it's nice looking.
Yeah.
Normally with most of our domesticated discus, you're not going to see those. They try to breed it out. But it's there. And but these are so much prettier than domestic discus. This guy here is clearly a male.
Because that
the
hump on
hump
his
on the
head.
head. And I'm not sure about this one. I'm not sure if that's a female or not.
Female maybe?
I'm hoping.
These
These two,
like angelfish.
these two have spawned a couple times, but I haven't been here at the right time.
They're still learning the parent
They're
thing.
still learning, yeah.
Very cool.
So,
And what is this? Up
so,
here?
so that would be considered, what do they call those? An electrical block where all of my Finnick Stingray lights, I've cut the cords, I've cut their power supply off, wired them into that, and then they're one central power supply, which looks similar to this guy over here, just plugged in.
Yeah.
It's a 2 amp, 15 volt power supply. And then the cool thing is that from the power supply it goes through a dimmer, which we'll get a shot of it over here. And the dimmer, I can turn all of the lights all the way off or all the way up or anywhere in between.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about doing each individual one.
Each
They're all
individual
under-
one, and we were talking a little bit about algae before.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of that. I tend to keep it off the front glass for sure. So if I found that if I turn the lights on about like that, I'm not going to get as much algae as if I turn them all the way up, because I don't have the gravel or the plants to absorb all that light. I mean, this is kind of more of a breeding operation than a, show operation,
Yeah.
right?
I've never seen anybody do that in their
So-
fish room. That is brilliant.
I figured it out by cutting the cord on the first one and just trying it.
Yeah.
You know, just totally by accident. It wasn't
Okay.
really by accident, but I wanted to know if I could dim the LEDs,
Yeah.
and I found out that I could. So,
Oh, that's brilliant. I love it.
yeah.
Very cool.
So, and I mean, the Stingray is an easy light because it's so thin to mount just about anywhere.
Yeah, low profile.
But the one thing, as you can see in some of your pictures, is the red and blue, even though it's there, sometimes it gets to be too aggressive
Mm-hmm.
versus some of the others.
So it kind of drowns the color a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
We've also found that for video, if we don't turn them all the way up, you'll get flickering in the video. It'll show.
Yeah, it's weird how some LEDs will do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I turn them all the way up.
Strobe
for you
light.
guys. Yep.
Cool. You all right down there, Jimmy?
Yeah.
And so this is how you drain your water here with a sump.
Yeah, this is the only way to drain it because I don't have any other drain or sink in the room. So all of the water that's drained in the room goes into the bucket. Over here, you can see in this one, this is what we're water changing right now. And it's draining out of the pipe into the bucket. As the bucket fills, the control for the sump will click on, and then it literally pumps up and out, up to the ceiling level, goes to the next room over, and it comes back down, and I tie it into the washer drain. It's the only way I could actually drain the water out of the room.
Yeah. Have you ever had any issues with it going over or anything?
Not yet.
Not yet? I mean, it looks pretty...
I've never had it fail. In terms of the switch failing, that would be your number one thing, is if the switch failed.
Mm-hmm.
But that's never failed, and the pump has never plugged up or anything. I do get fish in the bucket, though.
Do you?
Yeah, right now there's some
Okay.
baby killies in there.
Really?
Yeah, and so I have to get in there, and it's kind of hard because you basically take everything out that you can
Yeah.
and net out anything that's in there. And occasionally I'll find some. And then if I'm using the big siphon hose, which is this guy, that's always got water in it. So I just pull it out from under, and I can siphon larger debris out of any tank.
Okay.
And it goes right in the bucket, goes down the drain. And then I just turn the water exchange on to fill the tank back up.
Nice. All right, so there you have it. There's Dean's Fish Room. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Maybe you'll learn something, and thanks for having me over.
Oh
Dean.
yeah, and it's the first time I actually met you.
Yes.
So I had a great time.
Yes.
Great time. It's a
I've
lot
been
of fun.
wanting to meet you for some time. You
Yeah.
seem like a really cool guy, and
You got it.
you're doing some
It's fun.
awesome stuff. And yeah, keep up the good work. And you got a channel now too, don't you?
Well, kind of, but not really. I do more on Instagram, but I just will link to your videos on my channel.
Okay, sounds good.
But that guy back there, he's trolling us then. He wants me to have my own channel.
I think you should. I think people
Yeah.
would like that.
Yeah, we'll get to there someday.
Yeah. Who
You has the
knows?
equipment.
Yeah.
You got it. That's true.
Look out for it. It may happen.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
guys.
So I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, like, share, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. Have a great one.
These ones tend to like to hang out upside down. I never see them on
Really?
top.
Really?
Almost always upside down.
Candy
Candy
stripe,
stripe.
Candy stripe. Okay. Are these the ones that Corey paid like a...
Yeah. 400.
These are actually from Corey's.
Okay.